From zero to hero, D.C. was once tagged as a murder capital of America. Today, it's frequently ranked so high in the best city categories, everyone wants to live here. Now we hear it's the most expensive city to live in. Can that be true? I'm Furman Patterson, and Washington Full Circle starts right now. Coolest city in America, one of the most livable, even the most walkable. DC's topping so many lists lately, we may have the hottest zip codes in the country. It's also the most expensive city to live in, or is it? One business expert says it's complicated. Joining me today to clarify things is Richard Bradley with the Downtown Business Improvement District, or BID. Thanks so much, Mr. Bradley, for joining us today to clarify things.
Furman, thank you for having me.
Now, first of all, why is being the most expensive city ranking so complicated?
Well, because there's so many variables that go into a decision to make that kind of declaration about a particular city. In our case, they simply looked at the large number of people who looked in the region, not just in the city. And we have the most well-educated workforce in the country, surprisingly enough. 50% of the people in the region have college degrees, so it's not surprising that they might spend more on housing purposes or more on other things than other parts of the country. And when you compare to New York, we're a much bigger area, more diverse population. So on an average basis, this may be true, but it doesn't necessarily reflect the city or all aspects of the city. So we always have to look at these in a more filtered way to better understand. It's nice to be considered there, but nice to be considered at the top of something, but at times it could be to our disadvantage if people say, gee, it's the most expensive place, I don't want to live there, or it's too expensive to live there, I'm moving out.
Now, why do you think that story about that study about D.C. being the most expensive city, it was caught like wildfire? Why do you think there was so much interest in that?
Well, as we all know, for so long, D.C. had just the other kind of reputation. I used to kiddingly say when we got started in the downtown in the late 90s that if we had a brand, it was dull, dirty, and dangerous. And I think that's how people thought about the city. Well, we've gone through a remarkable transformation, thanks, I think, to many citizens who have made the commitments, to some of the elected officials, and to the business leaders. And the city has really kind of pulled itself forward. So I think, one hand, we're sort of surprised and delighted, but confused, because we don't quite think we're there yet. And we certainly look at New York and we hear the prices of apartments in New York, and any of us who have children who live up in New York City, we know what we're having to subsidize.
Right.
So we're having a hard time thinking that we're the most expensive anywhere.
Now, give us an idea of what BID is all about. For those people who are not familiar with your organization, what do you do?
Well, a business improvement district is something that was created by the property owners in a particular area who agree to assess themselves taxes over and above what they pay for their usual taxes. It's not a lot, but it can be used for improving the area. And so there are 9 of them in the city at the moment. There are neighborhood improvement districts that are forming, but we're used to deal with everything from making it cleaner, safer, and friendlier to dealing with transportation issues and partnering with the city on development.
Now, when these lists come out, say for instance the best this, the most walkable, there are also worse lists. Does the city ever wind up on those lists, and what kind of lists are they?
There was one that came out several years ago that ranked us like 49th in terms of business environment, a place to do business. And I remember Barbara Lang at the Chamber just got very concerned about that. And once again, it turned out that we should have been measured as a city, not as a state. And certainly any city is going to have higher expenses to do business than perhaps a state of Nevada. So we didn't look very good when you compared to states, but we're both a state in one regard, but we operate like a city. So this was a kind of negative way of seeing us, and I think that's the kind of thing that we find has an adverse impact and want to respond to in some way.
What may have an adverse effect is one study today says D.C. is one of the most snobbiest cities. That just came out today, I think.
Well, I think the one we all like the most now is that we're one of the coolest cities, or we're hip. And I think that goes to D.C. I mean, I think we've long been suffering here, but I think we always had a sense of spirit. And quite frankly, that spirit is what's propelled us over the last 2 decades to make the kind of recovery we have. And we do think ourselves as different. Cool's not quite the word yet, but at least it's better than uncool. And so I think we're pleased to have that kind of designation.
And just what are some of the things you tick off when you say coolest? What do they mean, coolest? What are the areas they're talking about?
I think they have to do with things like entertainment. They have to do with the quality of life. They have to do with the nature of the people who are here. what they're interested in. They have to do with the kind of schools we have, the universities, the kind of vibrancy which you have in the city. I certainly know that there are parts of the city that are still struggling, but I think they're happy to be part of that. And even we're finding that this vibrancy is spreading throughout the city. And I think that's what we see long run, and we hope that will happen. So being designated was cool. If that's going to bring more people here or want to stay here, that's great, because that'll help us propel this change.
Now, being somewhere at the bottom of these kind of lists, has that ever had a bad effect on a city, on Washington or any other city, as you know?
Oh, sure. I mean, we all can look at Detroit at the moment, and we would probably think of Detroit as at the bottom of all those lists. And people don't want to invest in those cities. They don't want to move to those cities. And certainly for Washington, you know, that was the case years ago. As we all know, our population was declining. That affected the tax base. It affected our ability to invest in schools. In the last 20 years, that's reversed. And all of that now has had a fortuitous benefit in terms of improving the schools. We have universal health care in the city, and we're able to be supportive of culture and arts and entertainment as well as our university. So that's why this is important to us. But certainly other cities have suffered that, and you can see that when you get a negative vibe, it really works against you.
Now, as we hear these stories about D.C. placing high on many of the lists, we're also hearing from some long-term D.C. residents that they don't recognize the city anymore, that they don't feel like they belong, or they aren't seeing some of these things. What's generally your response to that?
Well, certainly the city is changing, and a lot of people could probably look at it and say it's not the same city. But I would suggest that in many respects it's a better city, and that's what you have to look at. If you look at our school systems, you look at the quality of the schools. You look at the fact we have universal health care. We now have universal daycare, universal pre-K. These kinds of things are really essential to the quality of life. We didn't have those before. So if physically it's changing, and it may not look the same way as it did before, I would suggest that, quite frankly, we're a better city for people to live in. And even if you're someone who's struggling, who isn't at the top of the ladder economically, this is a better city to be in. In fact, that's one of the things we got at the top of the list. If you're a person whose means are not what others are, this is a good city to be in because of public transportation, the access to various resources. That's a value.
And also, it seems there are a lot of dogs in the city today. Your comments on that?
Well, dogs suggest people who want to live here permanently. It's sort of, and maybe it means families that are coming and they'll want to stay here. I think it's great to have all kinds of creatures here, day creatures and night creatures.
Well, thanks so much for stopping by to clarify things for you. It's been a great pleasure talking with you.
Thank you. I've enjoyed being here.
Thanks. Don't go away. Washington Full Circle returns right after this with the sounds of Kenya. Welcome back to Washington Full Circle. I'm Furman Patterson. Her name is Kenya, a singer-songwriter whose sound is described as smooth and soulful with elements of jazz. One critic called it sweet, bubbling soul. An alumnus of Howard University, this Grammy-nominated artist is now spreading her unique sound all around DC's music scene, including the famous Blues Alley. Kenya, thanks so much for stopping by to talk with us.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure being here. Pleasure.
What would you call, how would you describe your sound?
Oh, you did a really good job just now. I would say it's soul music, but definitely influenced by jazz. Mm-hmm. So I say soul jazz typically when people ask what's the genre or what do you do? Soul jazz.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now let's go back a little bit to Howard University. You studied at Howard University. I did too. But you got the chance to sing in the Howard Gospel Choir.
I did.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, I was at Howard Gospel Choir when it was under the direction of our Phileas Paul Gatling, who was the director for the majority of the years that the Gospel Choir was around, and it was amazing. It was intense. It was fun. I learned an immense. I mean, I think a lot of people assume you're just doing gospel music. Or, no. I learned so much about music and voice, and taking care of your voice and discipline. Focus, all of that. So it was tremendous. It was a spiritual journey, but it was also definitely a learning process as well.
Well, tell us about this latest album.
Yeah.
What influenced you to do this type of music for this album?
Okay, well, my upcoming album, My Own Skin, which is coming out in 2015, you know, I listened to so many different types of music, from gospel to jazz to soul to rock to pop to everything. And so I really wanted to do an album that really represented different sounds. So it's a pretty eclectic album, but the base is soul. You know, there's every piece of song has some element of soul. It might have a little bit more jazz, it might have a little bit more neo soul. I even have one with rock.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, believe it or not.
A
but there's a
rock and roll
soul.
girl.
Yeah, well, not rock and roll, but it's rock, you know, but with a soul influence. So I wanted just to do that. I miss listening to live instruments. So everything is live on the album, and that's what we got.
Now, where did this affection for jazz and for soul come from? Where did that start?
You know, my father is a percussionist. He didn't go pro, but he played in local clubs and local bands in Denver. I was raised in Denver, Colorado. So jazz was his life, and so I was raised around it. And honestly, when I was a kid, I didn't like it because I thought everything sounded the same. I would say, you know, everything sounds the same. I'm bored. But as I got older and could appreciate more, it was so natural for me because my ear was so used to hearing it, and I played the piano as well, and I played the flute as a kid. So I was trained to kind of pick up on a lot of jazz things, and then I started doing jazz ensembles when I got in high school and stuff like that. So that's where the jazz came from.
And you also write music.
Yeah.
You write songs.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, you know, I probably started writing when I was a teenager. I would say I got more serious in college at Howard. It's funny, I think, you know, you're young and you like guys every minute, and you start writing why you like her and love her, you know. And so I started doing a lot of poetry, and then that just easily started translating into songs. And so, yeah, poetry for me is also another, you know, space that I like. But because I love music so much, it's just easy to convert it over.
Now tell us about some of the people that you partner with. I understand that one of them is Cloud9, is that correct?
Yes. On the album is produced mainly by two producers. One producer is Kendall Duffy, and Kendall Duffy is a part of Cloud9. So Cloud9 is a soul duo. They're twin brothers, Calvis and Kendall Duffy. And so it's unique in that Cloud9 is featured on a song, Be Here With Me, but also Kendall is a producer. So he also produced some other singles on the album. And then the other producers are Kari Cabral, who has produced stuff with Julie Dexter. He's India.Arie's bass player. And then his partner's name is Daz IQ, is his stage name, but his name is Darren Benjamin. So yeah, so they did the project.
And most important, there's a Grammy nomination somewhere in there.
Okay, well, it was a Grammy considered. Yes, Grammy considered for a nomination. I have an EP, a jazz EP titled Jazz Made Rhythm. And yeah, that, you know, it's so funny. It's just interesting how the universe and God and everything works, because I actually did that EP just wanting to really record some rearrangements. And make things jazzy, and it was really for me and my band, and you know, to sell at local gigs. It really, I didn't think much of it, and ding dong, you know, we decided just to submit it, maybe just to get my name, you know, so people in the Grammy organization, you know, could kind of just know who I am.
And look what happened.
And look what happened.
And look what happened.
Yeah.
Well, something else is going to happen in just a minute.
Okay.
Up next, the sweet, soulful, and jazzy sounds of Kenya, a special musical performance right here in our studio when Washington Full Circle returns.
Oh, then I look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day. It's a lovely day. Oh, a lovely day.
We're wrapping up today's edition of Washington Full Circle. Thanks for joining us. But before we go, performing selections from her CD, Jazz Made Rhythm. Here's singer-songwriter Kenya.
the sunlight hurts my eyes, and something without warning, love, bears heavy on my mind. Then I look at you, and the world's alright with me. Hey, just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day. It's a lovely day. Oh, a lovely day. It's a lovely day today. When the day that lies ahead of me seems impossible to face, and someone else instead of me always seems to know the way. Oh, then I look at you, and the world's alright with me. Oh, then I look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day. It's a lovely day. Oh, a lovely day. It's a lovely Then I look at you, and the world's alright with me. Hey, just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day, 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 a lovely, 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 lovely. It's a lovely day. Oh, it's a lovely day. Oh, a lovely day. Do-do-do-ba-dum-boo-day, yeah, yeah. Oh, a lovely day, a wonderful, magical day, yeah. It's a lovely day. Oh, it's a lovely day. Ooh, yeah, yeah. Oh no, yeah. Da-da-da-doo-be-yeah. Looking in my mirror took me by surprise. I can't help but see you running off and through my mind, helpless like a baby, sensual disguise. I can't help but love you. It's getting better all the time. I can't help it if I wanted to. I I wouldn't help it even if I could. I can't help it if I wanted to. I wouldn't help it, no. I can't help it if I wanted to. I wouldn't help it even if I could. I can't help it if I wanted to. I wouldn't help it, no. No, 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 no. Love to rub my fingers softly while you sigh. Love came and possessed you, bringing sparkles to your eyes, like a trip to heaven. Heaven is the prize, and I'm so glad I found you, boy. You're an angel in disguise. I can't help it if I wanted to. I wouldn't help it even if I could. I can't help it if I wanted to. I wouldn't help it, no. I can't help it if I wanted to. I wouldn't help it even if I could. I can't help it if I wanted to. I wouldn't help it, no. I can't help it if I wanted to. I wouldn't help it even if I could. I can't help it if I wanted to. I wouldn't help it, no. I can't help it if I wanted to. I wouldn't help it even if I could. I can't help it, no, no, no. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can't help it if I wanted to. No, 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 no. I can't help it if I wanted to. No, 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 no. Even if I could. Ooh, I can't help it. No, 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 no. I can't help it if I wanted to. I wouldn't help it even if I could. I can't